in this session. And the reason why I am doing this session is because Denmark is a country which is very close to me personally, and I've been working in this country for many years now. I have made a very, not a very long presentation, but a very informative presentation where we will talk about very important points which a counselor needs on the table of counseling with the client. Because what happens is we talk about Schengen area, we talk about this visa, that visa, and but then the problem is when it comes to Denmark, a lot of counselors have always told me that they cannot understand which kind of student they have to take for Denmark and which kind of student they have to avoid for Denmark. So here we can see on the screen a blue color screen coming up. It says study in Denmark, and I have put some points for you. Why study in Denmark? Why study in Denmark? Basically, I have got some most important reasons. On my right hand side, I'll start with Denmark spouse visa allowed, because Denmark allows spouse to come and stay with the applicant all the time. Doesn't matter you go for a bachelor program or a diploma program, or you go for a master's degree program, spouse is allowed to come and work in Denmark full time. Now the question comes is, can spouse go to Denmark together with this applicant or not? As by law, yes, you can apply, but I can tell you that 99% cases get rejected if they are applying together. If you have a student who's going for a diploma program or a bachelor program, please, also for the master's program, please tell them that you should apply the visa once your applicant get the visa, and the chances of visa will become quite high. You will find some people who will say that I do not want to apply alone, I want to apply with my main applicant. My wife is going as a student and I want to go with her at the same time. But in that particular case, you have no choice, because your customer or your client, your student, do not want to do any kind of negotiation. In that particular case, if the student is for the master students, you can apply together. So let's make a rule: if you apply together, you should be a master student. That also when you are very much stuck because your student and the student spouse is not ready to listen to your instructions. Denmark spouse can work full time. Denmark spouse has all the rights which an applicant have. They have the free health insurance. Denmark has the gives the first 5.5 lakh rupees you earn in Denmark, you don't pay any tax as an Indian citizen. That's the Danish rules and regulation for taxation. So anybody going for spouse visa do not need to have any kind of qualification. The marriage is 1 week old, 1 month old, or 1 year old. It makes no difference at all. Student have to have a valid marriage from the court, or student has to have the valid marriage from the local temple or Gurdwara. This all can be taken into consideration. IELTS 5.5 to 6.0. I want to make a point. We do not have any courses in 5.5. We only have one course, which is the pre-master's course for any non-business graduate student who want to go to Denmark, 3-year bachelor degree, BA degree, BSc IT. Anybody who do not have a business degree want to go to Denmark with the 5.5, we only have one course in Niels Brock College. I repeat, in Niels Brock College we have one course, and that course is basically pre-masters. Niels Brock College in Copenhagen give a 5.5 pre-masters. Rest every college in Denmark requires 6.0 for the diploma and bachelor. Intake September and January. There are only 2 intakes in Denmark. Visa success rate is 100%. Why I have written 100%? Because student who get the admission normally get the visa, because getting the admission in Denmark itself is not a cakewalk. It's a difficult thing. You have to make sure that today, when you end up this presentation, one thing you have to learn is, if you want to sell Denmark, you should know the admission requirement of a single program in each college. Otherwise, getting student into Denmark is very difficult, because not every profile will get into Denmark colleges. Even the same two profiles, there are some time that one can get into the college, the other will not be able to get into college. So we don't have many colleges. Denmark itself doesn't have many colleges. We have been working with a company called Study in Denmark Center, which is a company which promote Denmark in India, and we are working as a sub agency with them. But the in overall, if we talk about the visa rate is pretty high. The reasonable tuition fee, reasonable because we are talking about tuition fee has to be approximately, it's not very high. In some colleges you can pay semester wise, but some universities, sorry, not colleges. Colleges always charge you tuition fee per year, but in some university that also which are offering program in September intake, like Aarhus University, you may be allowed to apply with a semester fee, but not in others. No sponsor required. What is the meaning of no sponsor required? The meaning of no sponsor required means that in Denmark, the spouse visa is a secondary thing, but the main visa is applicant. The applicant, the student visa, you do not have to show any financial funding. So in Denmark, get the admission, pay the tuition fee, and apply for the visa. This is how Denmark works. No financial document required from your parent side. About Denmark, population approximately 5 million. We're talking about government. We're talking about high level of income equality, high level of standards of living standards. So Denmark, being a country, is a very rich country when it comes to the pay scale, or when it comes to living standards. If you see on Google also, there's the happiest country in the world, Denmark. The fastest internet in the world is Denmark. One of the least corrupt countries in the world is Denmark. So basically in Denmark, 86% people speak English as second language. So living in Denmark will not be a problem for you, and also you'll enjoy your stay. What is your student wants? Your student want to go to Canada, Australia, New Zealand, but those kids who cannot make it to Australia, New Zealand, Canada, or with a spouse visa, they want a good country. They don't want a country like Latvia or Lithuania. They want to pay money. There are people who want to pay money and they want to go for a better quality of education, and they want to make sure that they get settled also. And for that, they need a very good country, and these are the countries which basically going to be the ones who are offering the good quality of education and high income and living standards. And Denmark is one of them. So when you are talking to a student, you make sure that you explain your student about Denmark as deep as possible, because otherwise, unless you as a counselor don't have a knowledge, how will you be able to explain the student itself? The top brands like AP Muller Musk, which is a shipping company, Lego, very good big brand, Carlsberg Group, Vista, Novo, these all are Danish group which are present in India also. They have a very strong presence in India, and there are a lot of people who actually get jobs back in India also when they come from Denmark. So Denmark, I want to also tell something which I didn't put in this presentation by now. The students, when they go to Denmark, they are allowed to work full-time during holidays and part-time during their education. Students, spouse can work full-time from the day one. 5.8 lakh rupees tax exemption. What does this mean? This means that whatever you are earning in Denmark, at the first 5.8 lakh you earn, you don't pay any taxes. Either you are a student, either you are a spouse. You have to be an Indian national, because the treaty between the India and Denmark allows you to have a tax exemption. I'm going to go back to the most important thing, which is the college locations. College locations, we are talking about the college locations. And if you see, I have got 4 circles. The reason why I made 4 circles is because these are the 4 places where maximum of our partner colleges are situated, and they are taking the students from us. Copenhagen, Roskilde, Kolding, Esbjerg. Copenhagen and Roskilde, you should combine it together. You should not consider Copenhagen and Roskilde as a 2 different thing. You should consider as a Copenhagen as a central thing. Which college we are talking about in Copenhagen? We are talking about Copenhagen colleges is ZBAT College and Niels Brock College. So Niels Brock College is city center college, and ZBAT has multi-centers. When I say multi-centers, you can find those multiple centers addresses in the website of ZBAT. They all are within Copenhagen, and maximum one will be in Roskilde, and that's how the maximum can go up to. So students who want to go to Copenhagen, everybody wants to go to Copenhagen, everybody wants to be in the main city, but you only give them when they actually qualify. IBA College is basically based in Kolding, and VIA is based in Esbjerg. So basically, you have 4 places where you will put your students in the coming year. These 4 locations, we have maximum colleges. We have other colleges also. We have, you can see the list of colleges which we're going to provide you also. You can refer always to studyindenmark.com. Studyindenmark.com is a portal which will give you the latest information about study in Denmark for Indian students. As I said before also, we as Indo-European are working with studyindenmark.com as a recruitment partner, and we also use this website a lot. So if you really want answers on quick note, studyindenmark.com is the website where you should look at about the programs. Now locations we have discussed. Let's come to the education that works. So Denmark has a very simple system. Denmark want people to come down to India, to Denmark, stay there, study there, and get jobs also there. And not only there, but also in European Union. So basically, Denmark allows students to stay back as well. But why do they want it? Because Denmark's own population is basically going out. They need qualified labor, especially in IT. They need a lot, and in health sector also. You can look at the areas where there's a huge shortage, and after this, we will send you the list of shortage areas in Denmark where the skill shortage is happening. So students can pick up the courses from there. It's much more higher chance to have a permanent residency in Denmark easily once you go from a short labor category list. So personal development, combination of theory and practicals. So practice and theory goes together in Denmark. Everything in Denmark is very much practical oriented. You do not find many only bookish knowledge. You find good education colleges offering good education, and they also give you practical knowledge. They give you assignments, they give you projects. A lot of project work will happen in Denmark. That's how the education system works in Denmark. Career or further studies, the study programs are reflecting the need of industry and job market. I just mentioned that basically it's all industry-based program. Any program where European Union, outside European Union students are coming up, they are only coming on those programs where the students are allowed to come from non-EU countries, and those programs are always and always in Denmark, industry and job market related programs. Internship is a very important component in Denmark. Before you finish your education, you have to finish an internship of 6 months, approximately 3 months to 6 months, depending upon the program. Majorly, it's 3 months sometimes, and sometimes 6 months. But depending on the university and the university and college actually helps you to find your internship in Denmark. They are very active in that. They have very strong players, and they have a lot of industry partners in that. Become a global citizen. Denmark, this is what Denmark exactly says, that if you come to Denmark, you will be looking at a very international culture. You're looking at a very international career, because you will be trained with all these students who are from various countries, and also you have a semester abroad. You can go to these countries. On the left hand side, you can see Mexico, China, USA, Europe for an exchange semester. Every college is having an exchange semester with different colleges in the world. You can also basically look for the international business weeks. You have competition, you have language courses, you have a lot of other opportunities in Denmark. So if students want to settle, you have to tell a student that settlement is only possible when you have a quality education. So you as a counselor going to convince a student that he's not going abroad just to go abroad. He is going abroad because he wants to have a better future. Because when he was going to Canada or Australia or New Zealand, his objective was very clear that I want to study there, I want to have a PR there. Similarly in Denmark, you can study, you can have a PR, but your objective has to be clear. Denmark wants qualified labor. Denmark doesn't want the unqualified labor, basically. They want people with the skills and not with the, just volume. There's certain things about Denmark, about the expenses. Let's have a look at that. So when it comes to travel to Denmark, basically it all depends upon where you're traveling from. So if you're traveling from within the Europe, it costs you 100 euros. If you're traveling outside Europe, it costs you somewhere like 300 euros to travel, which is Indian currency 20 to 25,000 rupees ticket. Deposit for the accommodation. Some colleges will always ask for a deposit, and I will say even the private accommodation will also ask for the deposit. And the deposit is already mentioned here. When it comes to rental part, it's about 15,000 rupees, 35,000 rupees accommodation cost, depending upon what kind of accommodation you're taking. So I'm going to take the 15,000 rupees as a base price, and we're talking about total 300 euros. So we're talking about 20 to 30,000 rupees, 30,000 rupees expenses on rent and food for our Indian students. And I'm keeping it as the Indian standards. In Denmark, I'm not keeping Danish standards, because if I keep Danish standards, I have to take higher prices. Small pricing are already there. The milk, the pizza slice, everything is out here. The bus ticket in Kolding is 3.5 euro, but then students who go to Denmark, they make their monthly passes. The monthly pass will allow them to travel within their city n number of times in the train, in the tram, in the metro, any kind of public transportation they can use. And the cost of the pass starts from 10,000 rupees and it goes to 30,000 rupees, depending upon how wider pass do you want, how big area you want to travel every day. It all depends upon students, and students have to contact the local bus office, and they can make the pass for them as per the requirement. I'm coming on the tuition fee straight away. Diploma and bachelor tuition fee is approximately 8 to 9 lakh rupees approximately. Master fees is approximately 9 to 10 lakh rupees. This is per year fees. Student has to pay in advance when they're going from India. Now, one of the most important part of this today's presentation is admission requirement. Admission requirement at the diploma and bachelor. Please mark that every single program in Denmark is going to have a separate requirement. So you have to follow. There are a lot of emailers which we're going to send to you tomorrow, in which we will going to put a lot of information about the individual course requirement, and you can follow that particular thing, or you can also follow the studyindenmark.com, where you can find those programs and you can search the program and look at the admission requirements. So let's say I'm going to give you a general idea. For bachelor, 12th pass students are allowed in some colleges, but those colleges ask for a certain amount of percentage. So some say that I want to have 65% marks in your class 12th in CBSE, but if you don't have it, I will take 12th pass 50%, but they should have something with the first year of bachelor or second year of bachelor's already done. So if somebody has, so every single college and every single program going to have a different requirement. Please, this is the most important part of Study in Denmark training session, that you should learn the Denmark admission requirement course by course, university by university, college by college. The master's program, 3-year bachelor, in some program 4-year bachelor or 3+2 format. So most of the colleges will take 3 years of bachelor students in the masters, but some will take 4 years. And if you don't have 4-year bachelors, you can have 3-year bachelor plus 2-year masters, and then also we can apply. When we make an application with 3+2, we always make sure that for the admission we use 3+2. So let's suppose that some college says that I want a 4-year bachelor degree. Now we don't have in business, we don't have 4-year bachelor degree. What are you going to do? You're going to take a student who has a BCom for 3 years and who has done a MCom, MSc IT, MBA, something for 2 years. So 3+2 format means a replacement of 4 years is 3+2 format. But when you take 3+2 student, you will get the admission, but during the visa, make sure that student do not use the master's degree for the visa, because he will get the visa refusal due to double degree of the master's. For the English preparation, English is important. IELTS is mandatory. 6.0 for bachelor and diploma, 6.5 for the masters, and as I said, 5.5 for only one program, and that is called as the pre-masters in Niels Brock College for anybody who doesn't have a business background and want to do a master's program in Niels Brock. Work experience is not required for the bachelor diploma, but for required for masters, sometimes depending on the course you're applying for. Mostly it is the MBA. Application deadline and checklist. Now, application deadline for September intake is March 15. For January intake is 1st of October. But some colleges like ZBAD and Niels Brock has 15th of October as the deadline. We will very much appreciate if you can get some students for the January intake. The checklist of documents are already mentioned in the in the right hand side. As of now, only IBA college is the college which is charging application fee. Otherwise, in Denmark, there is no application fee for any of the program, but IBA charge 750 Danish krone, which comes out to be approximately 8,000 rupees in the application fee, and that has to be paid in advance, and only then the application is accessed by the university. They do not access the application without that. Now I'm going to share some very informal discussion about Denmark, which will be very helpful for you. So what happened is that student PR, student permanent residency, student can apply for permanent residency if they live in Denmark for 7 years and they pay taxes in 7 years and they have not defaulted their tax, they can apply for Denmark residency. Student can take his spouse, his children both in Denmark. They can live there, spouse can work full time, and child can go to the local school in Denmark, and that is also free of cost. A very small cost attached to it, maybe approximately 20,000 rupees. Student can basically get a visa for, let's suppose, say if you have a 2-year course, the visa will be 2.5 years. Visa, your course is 1 year, your visa will be 1.5 years. You will have a total visa plus you will have a 6-month additional visa to take the job seeker in your hand. How does the Denmark visa given? Denmark embassy gives you a visa. They give you a visa for entry and it's for 3 months. And in this 3 months, you have to land in Denmark, you have to go to the immigration office, you have to do your biometric scan, and you have to collect your resident card copy, which is called a TRP card also, RP card also. That resident card copy you have to collect, and after collecting the copy, you basically get a you get a full length visa. You're applying for 3-year course, you get a 3.5-year visa. You apply for 4-year course, you get a 4.5-year visa. It all depends upon how long you're going to apply for. Students who are applying for bachelor diploma courses and also certain master courses, they get 6-month job seeker. If you are applying for a Danish master, I repeat, Danish master. Why did I say Danish master? Because many colleges are running UK master degrees in Denmark. If you apply for UK masters, you only get 6 months. If you apply for Danish master program, you get 2 years establishment card. What is the establishment card? 2-year establishment card is something to run your own business or find a job in Denmark, but only for people who are applying for the master degree, and that too for the degree which is Danish degree and not UK degree. Otherwise, all the program will come with a 6-month job seeker. There is one more course which is called as language and culture course. I will not talk about this course today by detail, but I'll tell you what, we're going to be announcing admission for these courses also. In these courses, the language and culture courses, students will have to pay a lump sum amount for tuition, for living, for food, and they will be allowed to stay in the college hostel, and they will do language and culture course only for 6 months. After they finish the course, they can move into another country or they can move into Denmark college, depending upon the admission requirement if they fulfill. In this particular course, you do not require a IELTS, you only require good English. But student with a 5.5 IELTS who doesn't have very good academics, they can also go for this course, and from there later on we'll change them into a different country. Next comes is I within a few minutes, I'll be. There's some technical problem at my side. Give me a minute. I'm going to fix it, and then I'll tell you more about Denmark and Denmark courses and colleges. Just give me a minute, please. Yeah, I'm back here again. Basically, there was some technical issue. So basically, we're talking about the Denmark show money also. So the applicant doesn't have to show any money, but the spouse has to show money. So when the spouse has to show, they can show 1 day old funds, but it has to be 7.5 lakh rupees for the spouse and 7.5 lakh rupees for the each child you want to bring to Denmark. So let's suppose say I have a child and I want to bring it to Denmark. I will first go and apply my visa. I get my visa done. After I get my visa done, I will apply for my spouse visa and my child visa. So when can they apply? The moment I get my visa, the next day morning they can apply for the spouse and the applicant. So normally the question the student asks, normally North India student asks, what will happen? Will I get the visa together? The answer is that we apply the visa for the applicant. The day we get the visa for the applicant, the next day we apply the visa for the spouse, and we will wait for the course starting date. In case the course starting date is about to come, we will not make the applicant stay in India. We will make them transfer to, they will make them ask, we'll ask them to travel to Denmark, and the spouse can come later on. But that's how it has to work. If you do not tell this to your student, it means you're cheating your student on the information. So the students always need to know the right information, that when my applicant will make an application, I'm repeating this again so that you can understand very clearly. The applicant, the spouse, the applicant of the student will apply the visa first, and then the visa will come in 40 days approximately. After that, the spouse can apply, and when the spouse apply, then when the spouse visa comes in, the spouse and child can fly. In case the spouse visa is coming after the course starting date, this doesn't mean the spouse has to hold the application in India. Student should go on time. If student don't go on time, his visa get revoked and the applicant's spouse will visa also be revoked. Do not make these kind of mistakes, because that's where the people say, my counselor has told me yes. So the most of the time when we have the feedback from the people, we get a lot of negative feedback because of these things. So apply, and if somebody says that I want to apply the visa together, otherwise I will not go, then of course you will apply together, but chances are very less. So we here at Delhi, our office will tell them definitely we'll tell them and we'll push them also. But in case we will get to know that the local branch has not even pushed it, not even made the effort, then I'm sure there'll be a problem, because we will tell the applicant that didn't you got information from our counselor that you should apply separately, because then the visa chance is very high, because there is a certain protocol under which the visa will be not rejected. But that's why we want the education counselors in local offices to inform the student these things in advance in detail. Coming to the Denmark other opportunities, you can learn the Danish language free of cost, because in Denmark the local commune means that local NCD of your local locality, they teach you language free of cost. In Denmark, students basically have an opportunity to work full-time during June, July, August, because that's the only time they can work full-time. Average income is 1.5 lakh rupees in Denmark for the students who want to work there. When we talk about the spouse, they're making approximately 2 to 2.5 lakh Indian currency. When we talk about the other opportunities for Indian students can basically go for some loans also from banks after they have done some 1 year of education. They also get some loans from the bank. Second thing is CPR number. CPR number. What is the CPR number? CPR number is the most important and the basic thing in Denmark. Wherever you live, you register your address, and then the government give you a card, a yellow color card called as CPR number. This is the number which you get. This is your complete information about you. So this number, this card, CPR yellow card, we're going to send you the sample copy also for this in the email today. This plus your Denmark resident card together is your identity in Denmark. So when students want to apply for any third country also, they can apply the visa from Denmark itself, because they have a TRP card, they have a resident card. So student want to go to Canada and he has done a 2-year diploma in Denmark, he can apply a visa for Canada in Denmark itself. He doesn't have to come to India, and his file will be also processed from the Canadian Embassy in Copenhagen. When it comes to the part-time jobs which are available in Denmark, in cleaning company, restaurants, in a lot of different companies, Copenhagen is one of the most important cities when it comes to the movement of employees. So basically, I believe we have got a lot of information about Denmark. Now I will open the FAQ session. So basically, you'll ask the questions in that section, and I'll be able to answer all your questions in Denmark. So I request all the participants to please write down the questions in the chat window so I can answer your questions. We have the first question coming from Ms. Manjeet. Question says that what's the academic percentage requirement for bachelor's and master's? So the academic percentage depend upon college to college and program to program, and you have to refer studyindenmark.com, or you have to refer the mailers which will be coming to you now. We'll be sending the mailers to you tomorrow morning. But for still before you want to go and you want to check the program, you can check it on studyindenmark.com, or you can contact Ms. Himanshi. With her contact details will be also sent to you. Studyindenmark.com is a project which has been run by the ex-visa officer from Denmark Embassy, and we are working with this company for now quite some time now. We have also got our visas. There's so basically studyindenmark.com only focus on Denmark, and any one of you have any questions about Denmark, you should contact the Study in Denmark Center, Ms. Himanshi, directly for the particular program. But still, if you ask for the bachelor's, it's 12th pass in certain colleges and 12th pass with certain percentage. So let's say ZBAT says that if you have 12th class with CBSE board, 65% marks. If you have any state board, it is 85% marks. But if you do not have either 70, 65 in CBSE or 85 in state board, then you should have 12th class plus 1 year of the university education like BA, BCom, BSc. Therefore, every single program, every single college have a different rule. So it's important that you actually check their separate rules. Next question is coming from Durga, and it says that the living cost is differ in certain months, Durga, because if you live in the hostel, they charge you for heating, and certain months they don't charge you for heating. So that's how the living cost is changed in the hostel of the university. In summer there is no heating required, so in the winters the heating is required. So I have to answer it. So next is Beyond Kaur asking if student has completed BSc non-medical and has 5.5 band and IELTS, yes, he is eligible for Denmark. You can go for a, as I said, 5.5 band, only one college, one program, pre-master degree. Anybody who has a graduation, any graduation, 5.5, Niels Brock College, 15th October deadline, admission. Next is Amrita. Pre-master program 5.5 by how much relevancy? Of course, bachelor, any bachelor degree, again the same question, any bachelor degree in any field, pre-master is available, and after pre-master, master in business is available. So after master in business, you can do a pre-masters without any experience. For the pre-master also you need an experience. You have to have at least for 1 year. So 5.5, 1 year experience, and you can do a pre-masters. Only one program, 5.5 in the country, which is pre-masters, and for that any bachelor and 1 year experience, any field. Relevancy of the course doesn't matter, Manjeet. You can have a course you have to have a relevancy of the course only because the admission, if it's for admission requirement, yes. So example, they need mathematics, So you have to find a program which fits your student, and you can only find the program when you know the program, when you know the admission requirement. So that's why I'm saying, please learn 4 or 5 colleges we have, learn their admission requirement by heart, and then only you will be able to give the program to the student. And if you do not understand it, you can give the profile of the student, document of the student to Ms. Himanshi in Study in Denmark Center, and she will give you a shortlisting immediately. Gap year is acceptable, the cheat, there's no problem. We can always discuss the inform the gap in the embassy. There's no it should not be a problem. But then of course a student of 35 years old cannot do a diploma. Maximum 25 for the diploma bachelor's, and for the master's 30, 32 at the most. No IELTS is required for a spouse visa. Spouse visa don't require anything. Just show money and apply. Distance studies is accepted. Yes, distance studies is accepted if the courses are properly mentioned on the bachelor's. Yes, it is accepted. Neha is asking spouse create issue for payment for of case order ID for visa. Yes, there is a special fee. We're gonna send you a complete amount which student has to pay and spouse has to pay for their visa and why they have to pay. So please make sure they are very well informed about this in advance so they do not make issues at the visa stage with the visa team in New Delhi. Case order ID is a fee which you have to pay to the immigration office online. That is the name is the immigration fee called as case order ID. It's a fee which you make it. It's a fee which you pay, but you pay to immigration office. Case order ID fee. So case order ID is an immigration office fee which you pay. So making and it has to be made. It has to be created. But then the fee go to the immigration office. So you call it as an immigration office fee. Any more questions, please? Again, same thing I'm going to repeat. Please learn the admission requirement of each and every college and a program if you want to sell Denmark. That's very, very important, branch managers. It's other than that, you will not be able to sell it. Next question coming up is Amrita is asking criteria for distance learning education. There is no criteria for distance learning education. You can have a distance learning education also. We can make the application. At the moment, this distance learning is also accepted. Just like in Delhi University, they do not write the proper subject. So any university which is writing a proper subject on a distance learning, we can accept it for the application. Next is from Payal. I need to hold this session for next 2 minutes. I'll be back in. We have some technical issues happening. Just give me 2 minutes. Hello dear, I'm back again. So we had a question which is coming from, we have did Amrita's question, which was about the distance. Payal is asking if student has done BSc in travel tourism from UK and MSc from UK in business and management, is he eligible for masters? Yes, he is eligible for masters. So what we're going to do is we need your bachelor's and master's degree of UK, which we will be using for the admission, and post that for the visa we'll only use the bachelor. This case has to be individually discussed with the Himanshi. So if you can just contact Himanshi and explain her and send her all the document to the student, I am 99, 100% sure we can do this course case. Payal, you can apply. We can pick the application. So if you send the documents immediately tomorrow, you'll get the shortlisting also from Himanshi, which university and college we can for January intake. Manjeet is asking, we can promote Denmark without IELTS, as you mentioned, some language course. Yes, Manjeet, you can promote Denmark without IELTS also for language course. This language course will be given to the student in term of language and culture program. It starts twice in a year, so there is a possibility to do it. But students have to speak good English because interview will be still there. And for the requirements, you have to pay the whole package. We'll give you as a package, and student has to pay as a full package. And sometime in some language courses, they also have to show money in Denmark. In Denmark, not on everyone, but some of them, yes, you have to. But we will definitely come back to you on language courses with the mailers, so that in the next couple of days we'll send you some mailer about language courses. And if you think that student will be interviewed for the language course by his college also sometimes, so please make sure that your students speak good English, and only then he'll get the admission for the language course. It's called folk high schools. Folk high school concept. Folk high school are those high schools which host international students for one semester, and student can be of any background up to the age of 25. Ankit is asking, we need to submit the visa file and how much visa fees. Approximately, you can say 40,000 rupees is the expenses of the student visa. How and where you have to spend the 40,000, we will be sending you this email today itself about the complete visa fees for student and for the applicant and for the spouse. We'll give you a complete matrix today itself. All of you will have it. Any questions after the session about Denmark? I'm sending you, I'm asking Himanshi to send her contact details. Please always ask Himanshi from Study in Denmark Center. She's very helpful. She's always ready to questions. She's only working for Denmark, and she's been very active with our company. So I think because being near to our office also, they give us a lot of priority. So if you have a student who want to convert Denmark, you can always call her up, and she can also join your counseling session also and help you to convert your student into enrollment. Any further questions? I believe, again, before I go, one more time I want to repeat, program, admission requirement, you have to learn them by heart, only then you can sell Denmark. The rest all going to be the standard material, but if you want to understand how to sell Denmark, you really have to do this way. And if you're not sure about a profile, he wants to go to Denmark, you can send this profile to Himanshi, and she can shortlist the university for you in few hours immediately. Seems that we are finished with the questions. Thank you, audience. Thanks a lot. We'll see you tomorrow for study in Netherlands. That's going to be another new destination which we're going to open this year. We're going to have lots of. Actually, the Netherlands is going to be the a big competition for Denmark. I was in Netherlands for the last 5 days, and trust me, there are so many part-time jobs available that and we as company Indo-European are also going to give a job guarantee to our students in Netherlands. Yeah, that's the first time I'm saying job guarantee. There are so many jobs in restaurants that people are dying there. And I've been to so many Indian restaurants also in there, and then they have told me that if you can send us students, we can immediately hire them for a minimum salary of 1,700 euros. Yes, that's true. Netherlands tomorrow. Let's meet tomorrow and understand how Netherlands going to recruit and what all we need to understand about Netherlands before sending the student to Netherlands, and counseling skills. Thank you.